What is up, guys? My name is Rubidium. This is a video to talk about the things that the C200 from Canon can and can't do. I've had this camera for about a month now. I love it. I'm getting a really great image out of it that I'm happy with. There are some frustrations, there are some setbacks, but I would say that it's probably the best camera on the market. And I'm talking of any digital cinema camera. I would rather have this camera than the Arri Alexa, the Red Weapon Kingdom, whatever they're selling now. I would rather have this camera than anything because it shoots incredible images, it has beautiful color science, it's small, it's portable, it's versatile. I've been YouTubing a lot of stuff and looking for a lot of help. And I've noticed that there's lots of disinformation, there's lots of misunderstandings about what this camera can and can't do. And it stems mainly from the fact that it has this very strange, it sets in a really strange position of shooting very low quality 8-bit 420 video and very high 12-bit 444 RAW with nothing internally in between. So I'm recording this video in 3 formats simultaneously, which is something you can do with the C200. I'm recording it in the internal RAW of the camera. I'm recording it in the internal SD card MPEG-4 420 8-bit of the camera. And then I have the SDI out going into my Blackmagic Video Assist, recording in ProRes 422, which is possible because this camera can output a 422 10-bit signal with clean HDMI or clean SDI. So you can see here that in RAW, you get the full color spectrum of billions of colors. In ProRes, in 422 10-bit, you still get a lot of the color. And then in 8-bit, it really degrades, it really sucks away all this color information and sort of dilutes and muddies your colors. Your image is still very clean because the sensor is 4K and it's been down res to 2K for this video. But so the 420 isn't the issue, it's the 8-bit that gives you kind of these more modest colors, you could put it. And that's where it's, I guess, less than ideal to record 8-bit. But the workaround is that if you buy the C200B, which is $1,500 cheaper, you have $1,500 to buy a screen and external recorder, which you'll need because otherwise you won't be able to operate the camera. And this 7-inch Blackmagic Director's Viewfinder that records all sorts of great formats, ProRes 444, 420, LT, HQ, a whole bunch of crazy Avid formats, is like $500. And you can sort of bridge the gap between the very low and the very high that's in the camera by using an external recorder. Now, there are some weird things that this camera doesn't do. It can't output SDI and HDMI at the same time. So if you have, is it the Atomos Ninja or the Atomos Blade? I forget which one. One of them is just a standalone recorder box. On the C100 and 100 Mark II, you used to be able to throw that on top and just use it as a second recorder as well as your HDMI. Can't do that with this. If you want to, you have to pass through your monitor or go into a box like that and pass it through to the monitor, sort of like daisy chaining the outputs. The other thing that's kind of weird is you can do 4K raw internal, you can do 4K internal 8-bit 420, you can do 4K output over the HDMI, but then it drops back down again to 8-bit. This is recording 422. The only 422 10-bit you can get out of the camera is 1080p. You know what? Unless you see them side by side, you don't really get a sense of how much more color is in the 10-bit and the 12-bit. But once you see them, even when they're compressed back down to 8-bit for YouTube, there's so much more information there. Like, that's a little spiel about the different modes, shooting modes of this camera, how I'm planning on using it. some of the challenges that we still need to get around somehow in this camera. But you know, stay tuned. I am really digging it. I'm gonna do another video about what, in addition to the color space, what doesn't work with this camera, or what's still kind of unfinished about this camera, and we're all sort of finding this out as we go. But terrific piece of hardware, terrific image, super easy to use. Definitely the future of cinema, digital cinema, in my estimation.